This is the story of a girl the world believed was dying. A child in a wheelchair, with feeding tubes and countless surgeries. She had Make-A-Wish trips and a devoted mother always by her side. But none of it was real. And when the truth finally surfaced, someone ended up dead. This is the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the girl who had to escape her own mother. To everyone in Springfield, Missouri, Gypsy was fragile. She couldn't walk, she couldn't eat solid food, she had leukemia, muscular dystrophy, seizures, and a chromosomal disorder. At least that's what her mother, Dee Dee, told everyone. And everyone believed her. Doctors, charities, neighbors, even Gypsy herself. Dee Dee took Gypsy to hospitals all over the country, collecting donations, free trips, and even a new house from Habitat for Humanity. People called her the Mother of the Year. But behind closed doors, a different story was unfolding. Dee Dee controlled everything. Gypsy was fed through a tube she didn't need, confined to a wheelchair she could walk away from, and given medications that made her genuinely sick. Every time Gypsy grew stronger, Dee Dee would simply invent a new illness to keep her weak. It was a prison built of prescriptions and pity. As Gypsy got older, small questions began to bubble up. Why couldn't she feel the illnesses doctors said she had? Why could she walk when her mother insisted she couldn't? Dee Dee's answer was always the same, delivered with a chilling certainty. You're too sick to know what's real. And Gypsy, trapped in a world where her mother was her doctor, caregiver, and only voice, had no choice but to believe her. When your entire reality is crafted by one person, where else can you turn? Everything changed when Gypsy discovered the internet. Late at night, while her mother slept, she created secret Facebook accounts. She made friends. She talked to people outside her isolated world. And eventually, she met a boy, Nicholas John. It was her first romance, her first taste of a normal life, her first real hope for freedom. But with that hope came a terrible, desperate plan. By 2015, Gypsy was desperate. She had tried to run away before, but Dee Dee always dragged her back, threatening her, telling her no one would ever believe her story. But now, online, Gypsy and Nicholas were planning a different kind of escape. The plan was simple and horrifying. Nicholas would come to the house at night, and Dee Dee wouldn't survive. It wasn't self-defense in the legal sense. It wasn't an accident. It was a planned murder. On June 14, 2015, Nicholas entered the house while Dee Dee slept. Gypsy hid in the bathroom, covering her ears, waiting for the nightmare to end so a new life could begin. Moments later, Dee Dee Blanchard was dead. The next morning, a chilling post appeared on their shared Facebook page. That bitch is dead. Neighbors saw the post and called the police, fearing the worst. What officers found inside the house shocked the entire country. The home was a crime scene, and Gypsy was missing. The immediate assumption was that the poor, sick girl had been kidnapped, or worse. The search was on, until detectives found her hundreds of miles away, walking, talking, smiling, perfectly healthy. The truth, when it finally came out, was more disturbing than anyone could have imagined. Doctors confirmed it. Gypsy had no cancer, no muscular dystrophy, no need for a wheelchair or any of her medications. Dee Dee had lied, for years. The diagnosis wasn't for Gypsy, but for her mother, Munchausen syndrome by Proxy. A horrific form of abuse where a caregiver invents or induces illness in someone under their care for attention, sympathy, and control. Gypsy was a victim, but she was also, now, a murderer. In the courtroom, Gypsy confessed to everything. She told the world, "I didn't want my mom dead. I wanted to be free." The jury and the public faced a gut-wrenching question. Was she a cold-blooded killer, or a prisoner of war fighting for her own life? In the end, Gypsy was sentenced to 10 years in prison for her role in the crime. Nicholas, who carried out the stabbing, received a life sentence. The case sparked a global debate. Was Gypsy a dangerous manipulator who used her abuse as an excuse? Or was she a product of a system that failed her at every turn? Doctors missed the signs. Schools missed the signs. Charities never once questioned the story. Gypsy was a lifelong victim of unimaginable abuse, who chose a horrific way out. Today, Gypsy Rose has served her time. She is free, healthy. She is finally living the life she was never allowed to have. This case serves as a dark reminder that sometimes the most dangerous person is the one you're taught to trust the most. If you want more deep dives into real true crime stories, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And I have to ask you, leave a comment below and tell us what you think. Was Gypsy a criminal mastermind or a victim fighting for survival? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next case.